Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla Podcast. Well, this is it. This is the huge day that you and I have all been waiting for. Outside of the official Godzilla premiere, of course, happening in a few months, this is the second biggest event that at least I was waiting for, and I'm sure we all were waiting for as well. Ever since the announcement was done of Godzilla joining Legendary and then having all the cast and the crew and the director and the story writers, everything, all of it led to this one moment here where we would finally have the big reveal trailer released, and it is a beauty. So I'm going to chronicle and analyze many stuff associated with this trailer. If you haven't seen it, I advise you to pause, at least right now, and go watch the trailer like I did. Watch it 5 times at least, that way you could become familiar with what it entails. And then come on back here and then we'll go over the trailer together. And fair warning though, I'm going to talk about a lot of spoilers associated with these scenes. A lot of the stuff that has come throughout these various months of posting snippets here and there on my YouTube videos of information related to the Godzilla film and how all of it is tying together with this particular trailer. Even then, there's some spoilers that the trailer hasn't mentioned but kind of makes sense, but I'm not going to mention them with those scenes because even then that stuff is way too spoilerific and it risks being taken down. So but at least with regards to the scenes and the setups and what they involve, I'll definitely mention a lot of information here. So again, fair warning on there. I'm going to be using the official Godzilla YouTube channel to post and talk about this trailer, and just like what I did with the other trailer that was released a couple of weeks back, I'm going to be pausing the trailer to talk about key scenes, and I'll tell you where to pause. Like I'll state, okay, at 27 seconds in, go ahead and pause because this scene happened and let's talk about this, or at 45 seconds in, let's pause again, as an example on there. So again, go familiarize with the trailer before beginning any of this, and then once you have, come on back and we'll go together with it. Those of you that wanted to go ahead, I'll go ahead and I'll start the information here on the trailer, and let's go ahead and begin. Alright, so going into a few seconds into the trailer, we see the familiar logos. And then we have the narration from Bryan Cranston. Pause it now at 9 seconds in, and you'll see that it looks like there's a huge massacre, something that happened within a rural area. It looks like a highway of some sort, 2 highways or freeways intersecting one another, and it comes up on an airplane that has crashed and settled within the ground. Although, judging by the direction that these cars are going, it looks like that they're escaping from something, and at the same time they're all heading towards one direction. It looks like it's all going towards, if we're facing northeast southwest looking straight at the screen, that they're going towards the east, and whatever has happened led this plane to crash near and around the area that these people are all trying to escape. And it's a very impactful shot because one can see right away the global effect that this destruction has. If it's something so massive that an entire large metropolitan population is escaping as quickly as possible, and it's so much so that they're all jammed together on the freeways like this, and it's creating a huge havoc on everything involved. It again goes to show the scope that this film has. So right away, this trailer is very captivating, and I'm sure eventually this trailer is going to be shown in front of movie screenings, and when that happens, the people that aren't familiar with this trailer should immediately be captivated by what they see on this. So very good start on this, and ensuring that right from the beginning you're hooked on this trailer. So alright, go ahead and hit play. You'll be hearing also the Bryan Cranston narration, and go ahead and pause it like around 17 seconds in. Cranston is talking about something happening, something as far as something in the past that was hidden, that this was Essentially, by the way, he does a very, very good job of showing the emotion with what he's trying to entail. Here at 17, 18 seconds in, you'll see that this was the scene that was filmed, one of the earliest scenes, in fact. I believe, if I remember correctly, this was one of the very first behind the scenes type shots that was leaked. Not really leaked, but they were essentially shooting the school area. It looked like it was in Middle East. I'm sorry, the either Japanese area of some sort, and this was one of the revealed to be one of the first scenes shot within the film's timeline, the shooting timeline. Not to say that this is happening at the beginning of the film, but at least chronologically with the shooting of the film, this was one of the very first scenes that it looks like the actors and everybody else were gathered around, and you'll see some destruction, something happening in the background out there. It's kind of hard to tell because of the fog, the dirt, the rising of the dirt that's obscuring everything, but something is happening. It doesn't look like it's explosions. It looks more along the lines of something is rising out of the ground in a multitude of areas all at once, and you'll see it through the forefront of the back shot of this boy as he's staring out through all the commotion while a teacher looks like is evacuating. So again, it's interesting to see this in the trailer because this was the very, very first, if I remember correctly, one of the very first scenes shot for the film. So very good stuff on there. Cranston continues that he's saying that it's not an earthquake. We see him running from that familiar shot. And alright, go ahead and pause it at 28, and you'll see that it's, as he's narrating again about stuff being a lie, that it wasn't an earthquake, it wasn't a typhoon. It looks like there's a shot of some military craft going towards a very secret bunker. Now, keep in mind the area surrounding it, it all looks to be very desert. And keep that in mind because in a couple of scenes in, I'll highlight how that ties into what we see here. So, go ahead and hit play again. Alright, so hit pause at 33 and you'll see that it looks like Las Vegas has been demolished, absolutely demolished by something. And this ties in to the previous item with regards to the military aircraft, because what's around the Las Vegas area? A whole bunch of desert. What's around all that desert? Some secret projects that apparently the government continues to work on. The Area 51, the Groom Lake type stuff, Los Alamos, I believe, is another one. All that stuff is out there, and I believe that this ties in with that as well. Whenever something was released or something escaped, it probably led to this havoc happening on there. I don't know, I'm just throwing conjecture out there. But this, how random is it that something like this happens in Las Vegas? A very, very tiny portion of a whole bunch of desert. Yet nearby we have all those secret labs and those secret places happening. But sure enough, again at 33 seconds in, you'll see there's a mass destruction of Las Vegas. It looks like it should be enough, based on the size of those building marks, it would probably be one of the Mutos that did this. I would hesitate to say that it's Godzilla that did this particular destruction, because Godzilla would be much larger than this, and the buildings in Las Vegas really aren't that tall. They're tall, but they're not skyscraper tall. So I hesitate to say that it's Godzilla. I believe this is one of the Mutos that did all this destruction. So, alright, go ahead and hit play. Alright, pause it at 36 seconds in, and you'll see the Statue of Liberty destroyed on there. A lot of people, when I was reviewing some of the comments placed regarding this trailer, they thought, oh my goodness, so this is happening in New York. No, it's very, very brief, but you can see it there. Again, 37 seconds in, paused. You'll see that this is actually the Statue of Liberty, and we're still in Las Vegas. And the reason for this is, look behind the Statue of Liberty and you'll see the roller coaster. This is the Statue of Liberty that is in Las Vegas in the New York building. So whatever was attacking the Las Vegas area decided to attack this replica of the Statue of Liberty by the New York area, probably thinking that it was some kind of living animated creature. And when it attacked it, it did all this destruction on there. Interesting to note that something like that again leads me to believe that this was a Muto, is the fact that it looks like the mouth area of the Statue of Liberty itself was pecked at by a large mouth. And based on the secretive type drawings done describing the Mutos, they tend to have that elongated type mouth. That leads me to believe that this was a Muto attack, attacking straight at the face, and of course realizing that it was nothing, and then drawing away on there. But sure enough, also with regards to the Las Vegas area, what makes sense and what ties this together is a couple months back there was a large banner that was taken a picture of. I believe it was actually there in Las Vegas. It was at a convention / presentation of some sort, one of those things where they were showcasing Godzilla merchandise, and the banner for some reason showed destruction in Las Vegas, like in the background. It didn't make much sense because all we heard so far was that this was going to happen mainly in San Francisco and then maybe in some other areas around the world. But Las Vegas just came out of the blue, and I didn't really pay much attention to it afterward. But again, now based on the trailer that we see now, sure enough, the destruction does indeed happen in Las Vegas. It wasn't just a fluke. The banner there was pasting that Las Vegas destruction for a reason, because it actually happens in the movie itself. So great stuff on there, again, to tie back what one sees months back being tied to the trailer. So alright, go ahead and hit play. So Cranston is again yelling at what's happening. Alright, pause it at 45 seconds in, and you'll see that it's a shot of a cruiser, battle cruiser of some sort, or aircraft carrier of some sort, and something is traveling underneath the water. Very reminiscent of the first thing I thought of was the War of the Worlds, the recent 2005 flick from Steven Spielberg, where one of the tripods essentially went underneath the boat. So very compelling shot. Great stuff on that part. Alright, go ahead and hit play. And then the thing rises above. The water comes in on inland. Alright, pause it at about 58 seconds in, and you'll see that it's some soldiers, some American soldiers, who it looks like they're going through some foliage, through a jungle of some sort. There was those behind the scenes shots that Legendary posted that showed a group of soldiers either standing in front of a crater, and another behind the scenes shot that looks like they were essentially, I guess, going by some lake of some sort with some mountains in the background. So it looks like this ties in with that part there. These soldiers are coming across something where if you hit play again, they wipe the hand off, pause it at 102, and it looks like something with a radiation symbol on there. And you'll hear some new narration after you paused it, and it's Ken Watanabe, and he's talking about an incident that happened in 1954, which is a huge revelation. This was something that I would have never thought the trailer would have released. We have heard hints about this, and especially with some very cryptic responses from some of the interviewees, Gareth Edwards, some of the screenwriters, everything about how they're taking into effect what had happened as the 1954 the original Gojira as inspiration. But what they revealed upon this is something that is a huge reveal. I mean, this is something that's big, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Looks like I'm coming up on the 15-minute mark, so I'll have to pause it here. But go ahead and I'll come back with part 2 very soon. Click on the part 2 option, and I'll continue the analysis of the new Godzilla trailer. So thanks again, everybody.